Welcome to What I Miss podcast with Dennis Styles. On this show, I'll be covering all the stuff not on my YouTube channel, Ideas Too Smooth, to movies and game reviews, to movie and gaming news, to anime, comic books, and honestly, anything else I feel like yapping about. Alright, so we got a big week for Marvel news. A couple days ago, Variety dropped an article that makes the MCU seem like it's hanging by a thread. The future of the MCU isn't looking too good. We also have a couple trailers to get into, specifically the Echo and Planet of the Apes trailer, and we got some possible MCU Spider-Man 4 news with the potential villain returning. And our main topic of this week is talking about The Boys spinoff Gen V, as it's wrapped up this week. Like I said, there'll be time codes below, so feel free to jump around to whatever part you want, any specific bit of news, or straight to the main topic of this week. But let's just get into it, man. Variety dropped an article, and it's honestly not really... I'm trying to say this, like, it's not super big news to me. Some of the stuff is, but like most of the let me explain the article. So the article basically just like gets into like Marvel just doesn't know where this next phase is going, and then all the trouble with Jonathan Majors and them building up like basically these last two phases. I don't know what phase we're in, 5, and last two phases to like set up the multiverse and leading to Kang and a bunch of just... I talked about a couple weeks ago about like how Marvel was shaking up how they were doing their shows and how they brought in a whole rework of the Daredevil Born Again show, and just how that not having a proper vision and plan because they weren't making their shows traditionally how you make shows, because it's a different process than making movies. They would just really go in and just throw money at it and just expect something worthwhile to come out of it. And some stuff did, but we'll get into how like that lack of planning really cost them in the CGI area. But let's just get into the article. I probably said that a couple times, but there's just like I said, this is not big news to me, so I'll just kind of cherry pick the news I really want to talk about. So Jonathan Majors, I haven't been like invested in the case at all. I mean, when it comes to like cases like this and just the keeping tabs on it like step by step, I just really am not into that. Like I just have other stuff to worry about in my life. Like it's not I don't care, because victims definitely need support and whatnot. It just has nothing to do with me, and that's the wrong sentiment. I'm really trying to, because there is stuff that you should care about even if it doesn't have anything to do with you. But on this level, it's just not worthwhile to. I was talking in circles. It's just not worthwhile to keep tabs on until like it all comes out, because you just get different sides of the story, and then some people could be, trying to play PR heavy to make them seem to make them look good, and you just don't know what's going on. So I just rather all this come out and then say my opinion, or not. Or I mean, I don't need to say my opinion, but really, really take a side on it with these kind of court cases. But basically, he's on trial for domestic charge, and there's just been a whole lot of stuff that's come up from that, like people in the past coming up saying he's like problematic to work with and whatnot. So I don't even want to like get into that, because that's like getting into he said she said territory, and like I said, I just really don't want to keep up with that. But basically, he was supposed to be the big star of he was Kang the Conqueror, the Thanos of the next phase. He was supposed to be the big bad they were building up to, and just after that whole thing, everyone was like, okay, where is this all going? But what's funny about that, before all the domestic charges came up, he first appeared in not first appeared, but he made his official Kang debut, because he was in Loki, but he wasn't Kang per se. But he made his big debut in Loki. Loki was very I think it was like it barely made a profit, but it was for sure not critically acclaimed. It was not liked really well liked by majority of the fans, and so since that movie underperformed, I read the article last night, so I'm like just pulling from memory. I have it up in front of me, but I feel like I could do this from memory. Some of it. But he was, what's it called? And I'm over here like got filler words and stuff. But he was, I lost my spot. Yeah, so he was in that movie and it underperformed. And so then from there, they thought that they wanted to pivot away from King and go to like someone like Doctor Doom, but they didn't really lock into any of the ideas on that. But what's funny about that, he was definitely the better part of he was the best part of Quantum Ant-Man Quantumania. They like kind of got the wrong idea. I mean, I guess they fuck, I forgot to mute my computer. I guess they had like foresight because if they wanted to pivot away before all this stuff came out. And oh wait, actually, let me go to that part because I don't know if it's also because they did say, I don't know. I'm gonna cut that part. But so they wanted to already pivot away, which they just kind of got the wrong idea, I guess, because he was the better part of that movie and Kang wasn't the problem. And I didn't have actually. I mean, I kind of did, but I really just didn't care because I really didn't care about the movie. But Kang getting beat by, so he gets beat by ants in that movie, and it's like, okay, you're setting up this big bad, and just imagine like Thanos getting beat by a fucking like a puppy, and yeah, the ants were big, but like even if Thanos got beat by a big puppy, it's just like, okay, this is supposed to be the guy moving forward. This is the guy that's snapping Loki's neck and stuff. You just lose a lot with that, and so you can make I definitely had some justifications on why he lost in Ant-Man 3. I mean, he wasn't fully powered and whatnot, but that's still not a good look for your big bad to be beat by a bunch of ants. Like Ant-Man 3 shouldn't even been Quantumania 3 or Quantumania at all. They should have. Ant-Man 3 lost all of the elements that made the Ant-Man movies good. It took them out. They didn't do any creative shrinking or anything like that, like shrinking moments. There's a lot of good shrinking moments, and I'm saying shrinking moments because it's literally Ant-Man. Like that's his gimmick. So you need to spice that up. There was a good he was like running through like a model city in the first movie when the people were shooting at him. It was just super cool, and the way the sound design they did it too was like a muffled effect. It was really cool. And I'm trying to think of Ant-Man 2 had like Giant Man and stuff. We saw that in Civil War first, which kind of shot them in the foot. But that's it was like Giant. There we saw Giant Man. You still had Wasp doing really cool things with the shrinking, like making giant salt shakers while she's like fighting in the kitchen. She's dodging knives and whatnot as like a tiny like little wasp. It's really cool. They had some creative moments, even though like Ant-Man 2. I'm kind of I gotta probably do a rewatch, but that movie's like fine. I probably like watched it like once or two or three times, just like on an MCU like rewatch, not like because I specifically want to watch that movie, but it's fine. But they just didn't have any of that in Ant-Man 3. So, and then you take away his supporting cast, like there's no Luis, there's no the other guys like T.I. and I'm blanking on his name, but he's a really good actor. He played Polka Dot Man in the Suicide Squad. I'm not really familiar with his name yet, but I'm sure I will be. I could look it up. I'll look it up just because I said I could look it up, and I was gonna say I'm too lazy to do it. So let me look it up. I'll look up the Suicide Squad cast. David, I don't even know how to, David Dastmalchian. Fuck, I don't even know how to pronounce that. But yeah, his name's David Dastmalchian. I know I butchered that, so I'm very sorry. But he's a really good actor. And so you don't have him in the movie either. You just lose a lot of what made Ant-Man great. And so that was what was wrong with that movie. Not exactly Kane, but honestly, it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. So they're just kind of lost in where they want to take this phase, and we can clearly feel that. And honestly, before this came out, I kind of felt that, but then also I would say to myself, we were building somewhere, we didn't really know where we were going in the early phases either. So it was just like, but then with this, but then back then there wasn't as much content. So it was like, what point am I trying to make? It wasn't like, oh, we weren't oversaturated, and it feels like when each movie came out, it felt like we didn't know where the bigger picture was going, but the smaller picture was moving forward. And so it felt like progress. With this, with so much stuff coming out, you can't really even progress to the bigger picture at like the same pace. And I'm really trying to make this point that the older phases did, because each project, all these oversaturated projects I'm not saying they have to build towards something, but that's what they made them seem like. And it kind of feels like we've been going in circles for a while now. And until like, they really get the multiversal stuff established and whatnot. But so it definitely feels like they are running directionless. There we go. Directionless. So But let me get into the show side of things. So the like I was saying earlier, they did not take the approach of traditional TV making when making the Disney Plus shows. And usually I'm not I said this when I like kind of talked about this before, but I'm not super familiar with I'm really like getting more familiar with the filmmaking process, but I don't know really anything about the TV making process. But from what I've been reading and hearing and stuff, they're they're different processes, and that's kind of I feel like that's kind of like self-explanatory. But Marvel would just take the approach and develop their TV shows like their movies, and that just didn't work. They just didn't have like writers' rooms and showrunners, and this is like basic stuff that you need to make a coherent TV show. And you really felt that in some of these shows. Either with they would like be kind of like strong in their start and maybe their middle, and they just have a weak finale, or they would just be weak all the way through. There was highlights in the shows I really like. I think Loki's honestly the best one, and because I think in and WandaVision, because they have the most identity. Like they have their aesthetic and look and color all and sets and stuff all figured out. And I feel like they're the most well put together, and that's why they are the best shows. But them not having like, the proper showrunners and stuff and writers' rooms, they shot themselves in the foot on the CGI side, because if you don't have your story planned out, you don't know where to put your CGI. So if you don't know where to put your CGI, you're rushing to get it out because the writings change, the order of the episodes are changing, or the writings change, because Marvel is known to really cut it down to the wire when it comes to CGI and VFX, and that's how they operate, and they've been able to get by the skin of their teeth, and that's how they shouldn't operate, because you're putting immense pressure on these CGI artists over I'll get into it. So She-Hulk is probably no, it's not even probably. It is the heaviest CGI Disney Plus show, because She-Hulk is literally a Hulk person. Like she's CGI the whole time pretty much. And then you have Hulk in there, and then you have Abomination, and so there's a lot of CGI in She-Hulk. And so there was an original draft of when I was reading this is in the article, the Variety article. I was reading the draft, and apparently not the draft. I was reading the article, and there was a draft of She-Hulk where she didn't turn into She-Hulk until like episode 8, or had like a flashback until episode 8, but that already sounds like it sucks. They did change their mind and made the decision, well, people need to see her transformation in episode 1, so it feels like, so they get an understanding of her, and it's like duh. So they were smart about that. But then if you have her turning into She-Hulk on episode 8, the CGI artists, they have all that time to work on that episode when the episodes come out weekly. So they have all that time to work on that episode. But that got shifted to the first episode. So now they had like 4 months or something to, work on that. Now they're super crunched and scrambling and trying to get this done, and that's why it doesn't look good, and that's why some stuff is like blurry and just looks ass, because CGI artists are rushed and everything. And so not having their scripts and shit in order, they make it so everyone else has to scramble, and this is costing them so much, because She-Hulk cost let me see, because I seen an absurd number. She-Hulk reportedly costed around 225 million. No show on this earth should cost 225 million. You know how much the first Avengers movie cost? Let's take a trip down memory lane. What 2012? Let's see. It cost 220 million for Avengers 2012, the first Avengers movie. If this number is right, let's just say, let's round down and go to 220 and the same price. Now let's round even further down. Let's go even 210. Bro, that is insane. That is insane. Costing the same amount as a Avengers movie with Robert Downey Jr., Scarlett Johansson, Samuel L. Jackson, Chris Hemsworth. And granted, this is still kind of early in the MCU, so maybe their salaries haven't ballooned as much as they have now. But bro, that is absurdity. Absurdity. Like I was reading this last night, and I was pretty baffled. I mean, I saw this like news coming out during the week and stuff, people like reporting other like Twitter accounts and stuff, but I didn't like read it until last night. And so this is just really super baffling to me. With Marvel not knowing where their next phase is going, having this CGI trouble, they have this one is probably, this piece of news probably makes me the most mad. So Blade was announced like I want to say 2 years ago, but Loki, I want to think um it's more. Hold on, let me look it up real quick. When was Blade announced? Okay. On June 26, 2017, Kevin Feige again expressed his interest in using Blade in the MCU, stating, "We think it would be okay." On July 20th, 2009. Okay, so 2019. It's the end of 2023, brother. So that's what, three? I didn't want to say 4 years ago, but it was 4 years ago. Damn, I thought it was like two. But yeah, so 4 years ago, Blade was announced, and since then, they went through, I guess, like five scripts for Blade, and then they went through about like a couple writers. Or no, sorry. They went through. I'm just trying to scroll to it. And so, okay, let me rewind before we get to the Blade stuff. So with their whole shakeup, Marvel's been, the MCU's been like, Kevin Feige's been pulling shows and canceling shows, reworking them into movies. Armor Wars was a show originally, but it turned into a movie. And then Iron Heart was a show, is still a show, but it was supposed to come out, I think, like, it's already supposed to come out, or it was very soon. But now it got pushed closer to Armor Wars, so they could be tying something not together with it. So and I think Ironheart has been done filming for a while now, if I'm not mistaken. So basically, they've just been pulling and reworking shit. So Blade has went through 5 writers and 2 directors since it was announced in 2019. They probably didn't start getting working on it in 2019, but since then it's been through those issues. And they have Marshall Ali, bro. Marshall. Fuck, I can't pronounce no one's name today. But bro, he is a phenomenal actor. He's literally, no cap, Cottonmouth in Luke Cage season 1 is probably one of my favorite just antagonists, like, period. He got done dirty, but just like the way he carried himself and just how cold and calculated he was, I really liked him as a villain. And he was super good in Moonlight. He's super good in everything he's in. He fucking played the Prowler in Spider-Verse, bro. Like that. No, let me cut it there, bro. Prowler is probably one of my, not one of them. I'm talking big, but he's a really one of my favorite antagonists. Like, I love the way he portrayed Prowler. His cadence and his voice and just everything. He really just brought a lot to that character. And the script did help with that, but himself really brought a lot to that character. But he is supposed to be Blade, bro, and they're really dicking around, bro. Like, how hard is it to just sit down and make a fucking Blade movie? It doesn't have to be complicated. I'm not saying the story should be simple, but bro, it is a man who kills vampires and is just a badass doing it. How is that hard? Bring in Dracula, bring in whoever you need, and just shabing bam boom bada bang. Like, it's not hard, bro. It really is not hard. And honestly, I'm about to just dust off the pencil and get to writing, bro, because it's not hard. I'm not a writer at all. I just made it seem like I be writing shit, but no, I'm just saying, like, it shouldn't take this hard. It shouldn't be this hard, bro. And I guess one of the scripts had Blade. The narrative was okay. I was gonna say this would make me come off super like misogynistic or something, but one of the scripts was a narrative led by women and filled with life lessons. Blade was relegated to the 4th lead. If that is true, brother, why? I'm not tripping about the women part. I mean, I wouldn't want it to be fucking female led in a Blade movie anyway. It's about Blade. I mean, you can like do something with, the hero doesn't always have to be the lead. They can be, there's ways to do the story that way, but I'm saying, like, this is his first outing. I don't want him to not be like, what? I need him to be the lead. And then also, and it was just like, you have this phenomenal actor and you're doing that, like, why? Oh, that's what I was gonna say though. If you do need to bring in, if you feel like you need a woman in the story, bro, bring in like Blade's daughter or something. I haven't read anything, like really anything on her, but she looks cool. And again, if she's bad in the comics, they can definitely just rework her and make her better in the movies. Like, I feel like there's a cool dynamic there with if you do need that female spice pizzazz to the movie, bring in like his daughter or something. Like, come on, bro. Him and his daughter teaming up to fight Dracula. Like, it's so simple. Boom. But now they went to the drawing board and they hired Michael Green. Hold on, how long have I been going? I feel like I just been ranting 24 minutes. All right, it doesn't matter. They went to the drawing board and they hired Michael Green, the Oscar-nominated writer of Logan, to start anew. Okay, so this is definitely good in the right direction. Logan's not perfect, definitely not perfect, but see, I don't really how to feel about that. But I think he could do a really good job with Blade. Logan's not perfect, but he's definitely has some for sure. But I like Logan. I'm saying it's not perfect, but I really like Logan. I was just trying to think about like the specific like writing, not like all the things like the blood and like it's the first rated R like really Wolverine movie and stuff. Just the writing specifically. I haven't seen it in a while, so I can't like fully recall just like how tight it was and just how the story flowed and whatnot. And then also on a budget less than 100 million, a deviation from Marvel's big spending strategy. So this could sound troubling, but I don't think it is. So typically a Marvel movie is gonna cost I would say anywhere from 170 million to on the low end to 250 million on the high end. If it's 100 million or on a budget less than 100 million, that means they I don't think it means this could come across as they don't have faith in it, so they're barely putting money in it. I think it's gonna be, and I saw this point on Twitter, it's gonna be rated R, because with rated R movies, you don't what am I trying to say? There's not as big of an audience. You're catering to a specific audience, whether it's adults or whatever. I'm not saying kids can't watch rated R movies. I mean, they probably shouldn't, but your net is you're not getting those little kids in. You're not getting those, you're missing a lot of a wider audience. A lot of people maybe don't like gore or whatever the reason. But your net to getting an audience is a lot smaller with a rated R movie, so they don't take as big as of a risk with those budget wise. I think Deadpool the first like two are relatively low budgets. Maybe I think the first one. Let's see real quick. What was the budget of Deadpool 1? It was like not the first rated R superhero movie, but definitely is it? I mean, I don't think it is, but Deadpool's budget was 58 million, bro, and I want to say it hit a billy or very high. What I'm trying to say, box office, 782.6 million. So off a budget of what I say it was 58 million, something like that. Yeah, there it is, 58 million. It made, look at that profit. So they don't take as big as risk, but Deadpool was just a home run, and so was the Joker. It was rated R, and it made a lot of money. Very close, I think close to a billy too, if it didn't hit a billy. Very close. But then you also have, so they're not taking big of a risk, and so if it's rated R, I'm super happy about that. So you get the Logan writer, and it's might be rated R. I think they could really cook some with that, and they just need to stop fucking around, because Mahershala Ali, I'm not saying he's old, but he's getting up there. Like, I'm not gonna lie. So, and this was announced 4 years ago. So then you still gotta, do everything, make it. That's another like maybe 2 years, and so it's just, and this movie's just been been in the blender, bro. And they just need to get it together before they lose their star actor, which is a very good get for Blade. And the only thing we've seen of Blade, he wasn't even in. His voice was in the post-credit scene of the Eternals, which no one saw. And no one, like, you barely even knew it was him. You had to go look online. Just was like, what's that? I kind of clued it in because of him, because I recognized Mahershala Ali's voice. So I was like, whoa, was that Blade? So I went to go look it up. But so if you just heard that, you just probably thought it was a random ass person. Like, you didn't even see him or nothing. No reflection, no shadow, no Nathan. Just and so what else do I want to get into? So I talked about the Jonathan Majors trouble. And so okay, so the Marvels. I want to get into this because I really do not like I don't like how they're doing it. Not you'll see what I mean. I'm just trying to find that point in the article when they talk about the Marvels. Okay, so the Marvels has a budget of 250 million, sorry. And it's Brie Larson's reprising a role as Captain Marvel. It's tracking to open to 75 million to 80 million, far below the 185 million Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness took in domestically in its debut weekend last year. I don't know why they linked Doctor Strange 2. Maybe because it came out last year, but I just figured they would do the last movie, but maybe I don't know why they linked it. But then, so the Marvels is on the higher end of that 250 million budget, or of the Marvel budget. It's like 170 to 250 million. I feel like it's like lower and high end, like I said. And it's tracking to do worse than I think, because this article, let me see. So now pre-sales, this was November 4th, so yesterday. This is via Deadline, and they didn't link an article, so this could be a little sussy. But pre-sales are reportedly now pacing behind The Flash, which opened at 55 million. So it could be even lower than that, 75 to 80 million. There's a couple reasons for this. Obviously, Marvel's track record has been pretty shoddy in the last couple movies. You definitely got your bangers here and there. Your Guardians of the Galaxy 3, your I'm trying to think of some other good ones. Okay, you just get your sprinkles in, but overall, it's just been really a shoddy record, and so people are kind of not really feeling that. And then also, so this was a good point. So directed by Nia DaCosta, I'm gonna get to her because I don't like how they're treating her right now. So we'll get to that. But directed by Nia DaCosta, The Marvels unites Larson's heroine with two superpowered allies. Tanya Paris, Monica Rambeau, introduced in 2021's Disney Plus series WandaVision. That's a key point. And Iman Vellani's Kamala Khan, first seen in the 2022 series Miss Marvel. But instead of seamlessly building on the success of Captain Marvel, this movie resulted in 4 weeks of reshoots to bring coherence to a tangled storyline. Okay, so I said that Marvel's record's pretty shoddy, so that could be a reason contributing to this movie underperforming. And then also, you are introducing this. You're building on plot points and introducing stuff that happened in TV shows that no one. I'm not saying no one watched, but that the wider audience did not watch. If you're not a Marvel fan and not into this stuff, you probably didn't watch Miss Marvel. You probably didn't watch WandaVision. Maybe you did because a lot of people were talking about WandaVision, but Miss Marvel didn't do that well. It's about like Miss Marvel's bangles. They're after Miss Marvel's bangles, and that is a big plot point that was introduced in a Disney Plus show. And now you're building upon that in this movie. So and I've seen so many like points on Twitter like, oh, like just look up a synopsis on or look up this so you can get clued in, and I'm sure they'll probably gloss over it and touch on the key points when the movie gets rolling. But it's like, why do you have to why do you have to look up something to watch a movie? That is not the way to go. I've never looked up anything to watch a movie, and I'm into this stuff. I mean, I guess that's a bad point because I'm into this stuff, so I wouldn't have to look up it. But the general audience isn't gonna look up anything to watch a movie. If it has to feel like homework, then they're not gonna watch it. And then instead of further progressing on the storyline of Captain Marvel, you kind of have to like rehash and reintroduce these catch people up to how Captain Rambeau or Monica Rambeau got her powers, catch people up on how Iman or Kamala Khan got her powers. Like you have to build groundwork on groundwork that was already laid out. This movie wasn't gonna do that great regardless, and then you have this ballooned budget of 255 million, probably like really one of the this is like Avengers Endgame level budget type shit. Like you should not be spending this on the Marvels. And I'm not saying it doesn't deserve it or anything, but it's just the things I listed, those are really big factors in leading in to the wider success to it. And you just don't get that. But so they also just get to then eyebrows were raised. This is from the article. Then eyebrows were raised again when DaCosta began working. This was the director. Working on another film while The Marvels was still in post-production. The filmmaker moved to London earlier this year to begin prepping for a Tessa Thompson drama, Hida. A representative, declined to comment. If you're directing a $250 million movie, it's kind of weird for the director to leave with a few months to go. So so they're trying to paint this failure on Nia DaCosta, bro, and I don't fuck with that. So she's a black woman. So she's already not well represented in the director's space, I would say. And then also she's a woman. And so she's black and she's a woman. And so then you also get she's only like 30 years old. So she's one of Marvel's, if not Marvel's youngest director yet. And then so you get that, and they're just trying to paint her like, okay, let me back up. If you're not familiar with how movies are made, like how I was, then her leaving the movie to go work on another project will seem like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, why would she do that? But apparently, and I was like, was reading around, and this isn't uncommon. like Steven Spielberg or something like left Jurassic Park post production to go work on something else. And like this is not unheard of. Like they do this. Like when because post production is I'm pretty sure like all the CGI and stuff and whatnot. And yeah, I'm pretty sure I think I also read somewhere she still had a hand in it. She just left to go do her other thing, which isn't not uncommon. So they're really just trying to paint her in a negative light. And it's just like why? And then Nia DaCosta came out. Uh, I don't want to say a couple months, like maybe a month or two ago. She was like, yeah, this is pretty much like Kevin Feige's ship. Like she really, and I feel like and it was like, what people mean? People are like, what did she mean by that? Was he like overbearing, like on the direction, like while she was directing or something, or like was it something in post production? And I'm pretty sure it was something in post production because if she wasn't really there, not saying it's her fault or like, but if Kevin Feige's been known to really be heavy on post production and fixing things in post and cutting it really close to the line, so he could have had a really big hand. And that's bad because the director could have a vision or whatever, or like a tone that they're establishing, and if someone comes in and fucks with that and reworks, and not just simple reworks but like big reworks and overhauls, that could fuck with the final product. I just don't like how they're treating Nia DaCosta. It sucks to see because I really don't. The Marvels looks fine to me, but the camera work in some of the scenes and stuff, it looks really good, and that's from her and stuff. And so and I don't know. It just sucks to see, man. It's just a younger director and a black woman, and just not already getting represented fairly in probably the pay and everything and it just. And she did Candyman, and it wasn't like super. I really enjoyed it, but I don't think a whole bunch of people liked it a bunch, but I really liked it. And so, yeah, I just don't like how. I just wanted to speak on that because I really just don't like how they're treating her. And the movie does look fun it looks like a fun time, and I want to give it a chance. And I'm probably interested, probably for the wrong reasons. Like I just want to see if it is as bad as people say, or if it is as mid as people say. But I think it'll be all right. There's just a lot of things other than Nia DaCosta, and not even saying she's a problem, but other outside of quote unquote her that are a problem with this movie, or leading to it not being as good. So that was pretty much that. There's one more thing I want to get into from this article, but I'll just give a summary. But they're also thinking, because MCU's not really on a hot streak, they were thinking of bringing Iron Man and Black Widow back from the dead and doing an OG Avengers movie. What the fuck? Is that what you get from this, bro? You have, instead of highlighting the countless characters that you've introduced in these fuck ass shows for so long, instead of all these not, oh my god, I'm getting kind of mad. Instead of, we haven't seen Shang-Chi for a minute. This man had a movie which was it was really good. The middle part kind of drags a little bit, but the start and the finish I think are pretty strong. Not super. It has its problems, but it was good. We haven't seen Shang-Chi in a minute. The fucking 10 Rings were supposed to had a big post credit scene dealing with Captain Marvel was in it, and it was like it's calling out to somewhere. Like we haven't seen shit with that. Again, they haven't pulled they said the Iron Man and Black Widow like revive thing. It was an idea they didn't pull the trigger with, but they didn't pull the trigger on it yet. But why even play with the idea? Like you have so much other stuff to do, and you choose to do this. Why? Or not choose, but like you entertain this idea. It just makes no sense. And so basically, that was like kind of like the last thing. There's probably I think that was pretty much it though. But there might be a couple more. But I just think this news wasn't really surprising to me at all because I'm really interested. I'm interested in this stuff, and I've been seeing the writing on the wall for a minute, and just like, oh, also this I forgot to mention. So the She-Hulk stuff and how they were super rushed on the CGI, that made the VFX workers at Disney unionize. So the conditions were that shitty, they unionized, and good for them. Like they need to, and so it's just like. You just are just not really, they're not putting the care and quality into the stuff they need. There's just too much going on. There's too many cooks in the kitchen. There's just too much rush stuff. You just need to slow it down. They really should have took a break after Endgame, like a good 4-year break, bro, and really came back swinging. Had a nice solid plan and came back swinging. And then after that time, 4 or 5 year break, bro, they would have had the rights to the X-Men and stuff again. They could have really not toss them to the side, but sideline the Avengers. Not maybe not the characters. The characters could still be in the universe and stuff, but the team Avengers, and they could have really pushed the X-Men and the Fantastic Four to the forefront. Like, come on, brother. Like, it just comes from capitalism and greed, and it's just why this stuff is turning out the way it is. But they seem to be getting their hands on the reins and to slow it down and to really recognize that they can't. This is unsustainable with the, how they're reworking their shows, and stuff's getting canceled and reworked into different stuff, and just I'm fine with the volume of content if it just is quality. Like, if you can't do it at quality at a quality level, then slow it down, brother. Like, there's other stuff to, I guess you say this as a consumer, like there's other stuff to watch and whatever, and they're looking at it as a business, like they need to keep the money flowing. And so the creativity is just kind of lost when you just bring capitalism in the mix, and I think that just happens like every time. I mean, I'm not gonna act like I know just a ton about capitalism and shit and whatnot, but it's just very evident. Speaking of like quality, so we have the Echo trailer that just dropped, and it was really good. Again, I've been teased and let down by trailers by Marvel before. I thought the Love and Thunder trailer was really good. I thought that was gonna be great. I really liked the Secret Invasion trailer. I thought that was gonna be great ass. I'm trying to remember the Quantumania trailer. I think for the Kang perspective, I was super hyped, and he did deliver in that department. So, but that movie was just and so just the quality of this stuff seems to be up and down. So me seeing this good Echo trailer, it was like, is this really gonna be good, or is this a catfish? But let's just get into it though. Let me go to the trailer. All right, so before I get into it, Echo is gonna be the first show in Marvel's new let's see. So it's called Marvel Spotlight, and it's, I guess, a new banner, and like how I'm trying to make what this would be akin to. If you know comics, like if you had like something like the Max series or something like Marvel Max, where it's like more hardcore and it's more so basically Marvel Spotlight is going to be for more grounded character-driven stories that put less focus on the larger MCU continuity. And Echo is their first project. And that is great because the Echo trailer, I really like it. It's very stylized and it's well cut together. Echo, so she was introduced in Hawkeye's show, and she was like fine in it. Like, I didn't like, it was like, oh, this character's super cool, I need an Echo show. But when they announced the Echo show, I was like, it's fine. So basically, she's an amputee. She's missing her leg. I'm not sure how. So they'll probably get into it in the show. And then also she's deaf. She was raised by Kingpin Wilson Fisk. She just, I'm trying to like think. She was raised by this fucking Kingpin lord, but I don't know. I'm lost because I don't know where her motivations are. I don't know if she wants to like take over Wilson Fisk's empire. I don't know if she's good, because when we see her in Hawkeye, she was kind of working for the bad guys. I'm pretty sure, and so I just don't know where her stance is. So I don't know if she's like trying to take over Wilson Fisk's empire, because she ends up shooting fuck it, Hawkeye, whatever. She ends up shooting Wilson Fisk in the face. People thought he was dead, but there's a storyline in the comics where he has to like get surgery on his eyes, so he like leaves the city or some shit. I don't know. And so he's in this trailer, and you see him with an eye patch, and so I don't know what his goals are, but he's like super protective over here. Like, that's his daughter, and just, if you see the Daredevil show, then you know how he got over his wife Vanessa. So he's just super a protective person, and he's gonna do anything he needs to protect his daughter. Like, at the beginning of the trailer, there's this Echo. She was a little girl, and she was going trying to get ice cream from this vendor, and she was deaf. He's like being like an asshole about it, like, I don't know what you're saying, and like tells her to like fuck off or whatever. And Kingpin sees that. And I don't know if this is before she's under his wing, but he like gets out the car and he like beats the guy to death. And I don't know if but he beats the guy pretty bad in the alley for disrespecting her. So I don't know what her motivations are, but also, so I think she's a real life amputee, so that's cool. And so it's good representation on that. And she's also Native American, and her powers are going to be, I think she can like call on from different like her native ancestors. So I don't know exactly what's going to be the deal with that. But that sounds pretty cool as well. It just really stylized, and also someone got shot in the fucking face in this trailer, and they just showed it full blood and everything. So this is really gonna be under the more mature like Marvel Spotlight banner. they didn't really say, it says grounded character driven stories. So they didn't really necessarily say gritty and like, like gore and stuff. I mean, I'm not expecting like crazy gore. It's still a Marvel show, but yeah, so they didn't really say that. But also Daredevil was in this trailer. Well, we heard Daredevil was gonna be in this show, and so it was just cool to see. I just love the Daredevil Netflix show. Season 3 is one of my favorite shows or seasons of a superhero show of all time. I just think it's really good, and the themes the themes it has and everything are really strong. And it's just gonna be super cool to see Wilson Fisk, Maddie's coming back to see Daredevil, to see what role he plays in that. And it just seems super cool. So I'm excited to learn more about this character through this show. To just see returning characters is probably like jingling keys in front of your face, but who cares, honestly. If the show is good, like who cares? But what makes me mad about this and about how Echo, it's cool. Echo's getting this the first show in the Marvel Spotlight show, and the banner, we're grounded and more character driven. Where was this for Moon Knight? If Moon Knight got the Netflix treatment or got this treatment, I'm gonna get back to this Echo trailer because I just remembered something about it too. Where was this for Moon Knight? If he got this treatment, bro, his show would be. Oh, bro, he would that would be the best MCU show. I'm not capping. Like Moon Knight is just such an interesting character, has a lot of deep things to dive into, and they just dropped the ball with this show, and this would have really benefited from being in that spotlight thing. But also Echo, they have the Better Call Saul writer. So that's why people are like kind of got their ears perked up a little bit. I haven't seen Better Call Saul, but I know it's really, really good. So I'm really excited about that. And then also some footage was shown to press from several scenes were shown to the press from Echo from the show. And so they said tonally the footage screened for press had hints of Daredevil, Breaking Bad, and John Wick. In some ways like Marvel's version of a cable drama rather than an MCU streaming series. And this is really good news. And so I'm gonna take that with a grain of salt, like those comparisons, but I mean, you have the what's it called? Better Call Saul writer. So, that's not too far-fetched comparisons. And I can see the John Wick feeling in the action. We didn't really see anything, but the guy just quickly pulls out his pistol real quick and shoots a guy in the head. Like, I can see that. And I can see so I'm really, really interested in the show now. It's really piqued my interest, and I really wasn't excited before. I was still gonna watch it for sure, but it was just like, Echo show. I mean, we kind of saw her in Hawkeye. She was fine in it. Like, she wasn't bad or anything, but so we'll see. And then also some more Marvel news is Michael Keaton's Vulture potentially coming back for Spider-Man 4. So Spider-Man 4, there was some news on it, I think a week or two ago, and I just forgot to put it in like my show notes. But this is from Daniel RPK, and he's gotten a lot of stuff right. I think I said this like last week as well. But let's take all this, what I'm saying, with a grain of salt when it comes to like the rumors and stuff. But Michael Keaton's reportedly coming back as Vulture in Spider-Man 4. That is lovely. If he is, so in Morbius, he got Michael Keaton's Vulture multiverse to his universe, in the Sony universe, because the MCU and Sony, like the Venom movies and Morbius are separate. So he got transported to that. So are they going to just say F that and just bring him back to the MCU? Because he was one of the better villains in the MCU in Spider-Man Homecoming. And I really liked him as a villain. He was really grounded. His motivations made sense. He was pretty scary at times. He had one of my favorite scenes in the MCU where he's like piecing together who Spider-Man is, Peter Spider-Man, and it's a really well shot scene, and he's at a stoplight, and when he has the light's red, so there's like a red glow on his face, and then as soon as he pieces together, he's just looking at Peter because Peter's taking his daughter to Homecoming, and so he's just like talking to him, and he's looking at him through the rearview mirror, and so you just see him. Because Michael Keaton is such a good actor, you just see the gears in his head turning, and then as soon as he pieces together, the light turns green, and it's just a really well shot moment, and I love it so much. And the Vulture coming back, I love it. And so Spider-Man, I brought this up also. So Spider-Man right now is in a really, really good place. Like the MCU could do something amazing with him. So because basically I know they did not mean to do this. The first 3 Spider-Man movies were basically his origin story to get him where he is now. Right now, he's street level. None of the Avengers know his identity. No one knows his identity. He's on his own. He lives on his own. He's broke as fuck. Like, this is standard Spider-Man early year recipes, bro. Like, early adult recipe. With the first 3 movies, you just got these Iron Boy Jr. comparisons. Like he just was getting mentored and helped by like everyone, and he just really wasn't doing anything on his own, and it just kind of felt like not really in the control of his own stories. And I did kind of feel that, but honestly, I didn't like mind too much because it's this Spider-Man in the MCU and what in a heavily Iron Man centric MCU, and so it didn't bother me too much. But I definitely did would have preferred if they had him on his own a little bit more. But right now he's just in a spot with everyone like losing their memories of him and stuff. He's just in a spot to do a lot of good street level things and maybe like go after the Kingpin, team up with Daredevil, or the next, I can really see Spider-Man 4, the Mysterio coming back. So he supposedly, quote unquote, died in Spider-Man 2, but it's Mysterio. So you could really just say he was faking it and it was just an illusion, even though either Edith and whatever, it's Mysterio, bro. He can come back. And so if you bring in Mysterio, you bring in Scorpion, because Scorpion wants to know his identity. You bring in, he was set up in Homecoming. They didn't do shit with him. So you have Scorpion, Mysterio, the Vulture. So they're missing 3 more members. So they could introduce... I can see them introducing Rhino. I feel like Chameleon could be a really good one. But you have Chameleon, Mysterio. I feel like Rhino should be on the team. And for some reason, the MCU is really avoiding doing characters again. Like there's no Norman Osborn. There's no Harry in the universe. There's no I don't know. So I was gonna say Electro, but they had him in No Way Home and Amazing Spider-Man 2. So I don't even know if they would do that. But basically, I'm not gonna I'm trying to get this going, so I'm not gonna speculate on the members. But they could do really something really cool with the Sinister Six, and then the symbiote was introduced in the universe. So you could have him really, because in Spider-Man No Way Home, you get him really angry and you get him mad at Goblin for May's death and whatnot, and he was about to do Goblin bad, and Tobey came in and helped him, and he calmed him down and whatnot. But then what happens when his negative emotions are amplified by the symbiote, and he doesn't have his Avengers friends, he doesn't have Ned and MJ to talk him off that ledge, and so you can really like lean into that, and him really having to pull himself out of that that symbiote control. And that could be a really cool story, and that can still be really grounded and really it's obviously an alien symbiote, but the elements of the story can be really grounded, and you could do something really fun with that. So Marvel don't fuck this up, bro. You got him in a nice spot. And on some more Spider-Man related news, so Tobey's Spider-Man and Hugh Jackman's Wolverine are rumored to lead Secret Wars. So Avengers Secret Wars, that is going to be the Avengers movie before Kang Dynasty. So this is via From My Time to Shine. So again, take this with a grain of salt, but they do have they do get a lot of stuff right that I see. So this is cool. I seen someone was like, oh, this is just like a cameo filled thing, and they're just trying to jangle keys in your face. And yeah, they probably are, to keep it a buck with you. But when will we ever get Tobey Spider-Man teaming up with Hugh Jackman's Wolverine? Like, never. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. So I honestly don't care. Like, take it. I don't care. Take it. I don't care. And so, but then also, yeah. So this is good news to me, really. So if it's true, so yeah, a lot of people like this is like cameo fest or whatever. But on some Wolverine news, so like apparently Hugh Jackman, he was really pumped when Sean Levy, the guy who's making Deadpool 3, said that he'll be wearing his classic yellow suit. And him being pumped just shows, I brought that up because it just shows that the studios don't know what they're doing. Like, even the actors want to be in their colorful suits, and Fox literally just had a fear of color or something. They made them in black leather suits with barely colored stripping on them. Like in Days of Future Past, they finally did comic accurate suits, and you had Nightcrawler in his white boots or whatever, in his white gloves, and then you had Cyclops in his standard uniform, and which looked really good. And then the next movie, they just dropped it. Nope, we're not doing that. We just hate being we hate giving the fans what they want. We hate it, and so they just dropped that. But yeah, so it's really cool seeing him really pumped to wear the yellow suit. So moving on, so Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, the sequel, is being planned as a villain forward film with Shredder being the major focus. I love this so much. So the first Mutant Mayhem movie was severely, I'm not gonna say underrated because I'm pretty sure mostly people who saw it praised it, but it was a severely slept on. So slept on. It was such a good movie, had great action, great voice acting, good story. It just, honestly, just everything about it, I loved it. And the animation style was lovely. And the post-credit scenes, I don't care if I'm spoiling this movie. It's Shredder. He is the main villain of the Ninja Turtles. So he was in the post-credit scene, and like you just saw the back of him, and he just looked so fucking cool in the animation style that Mutant Mayhem is in. So he just looks so cool, bro. So I'm so pumped. So if they do a more of a, let me read what they said. There was an article, but I don't really think the article said a whole lot. I'll just read the article. Coming up with sequels, huh? So look, the thing with high profile villains like Shredder is that there's a certain level of expectation that comes with their presence, but also fans don't want to see the same old thing. So it makes perfect sense that Ro and his team will spend quite a bit of time taking a hard look at the character and seeing what they can do with it that will feel fresh, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem did as he told Collider. So as he told Collider, this is exactly what I'm trying to figure out and what my next meeting will be about. This is what we're in the thick of now. Shredder is such a great character. He's an iconic classic love character. He's like the Joker. You know who he is. You know who he is even if you're not a fan of the source material. I think we definitely want to do a villain forward film. We're currently trying to make decisions about that. But those decisions for us as filmmakers are always going to come from a place of what tells the best story, specifically about our main characters, the Turtles. So, and then he also goes on to say that they want to really shine a light on Shredder in ways that haven't been shown before. I'm just really excited because I did like the action in the first Ninja Turtles movie, Mutant Mayhem, but you didn't see them really, they weren't using their abilities as much as they could have on the enemies that they were fighting. They were just fighting really big enemies, or they fighting humans, so they weren't using their weapons and shit. Only the people who were like really using their weapons were obviously Donnie and Mikey because they have blunt weapons. They're not stabbing people to death. And then there was a clever moment when Leo was gonna use his sword, but he was in the back of a van, and so he swung his sword and it hit the roof, and so he couldn't like bring it down. When they're against the Foot Clan and Shredder, you really are gonna get some nice dynamic action. I love the action in the first movie of what they did, especially that first fight with when they're in the parking the chop shop place. That was the potential of the action. I can really see it being fully realized in the sequel with the Foot Clan, and that's just gonna be so fun to see, man. Like, oh, I can't even fathom it. Like, just that animation style and just seeing Shredder, and I know they're gonna make him like have a terrifying presence, and so it's just gonna be so fun. Like, I honestly cannot wait. That's whenever that gets announced, probably gonna be one of my most anticipated movies. And the next thing is, there was a Planet of the Apes trailer, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I'm gonna quickly talk about this because I really like this series. I think this is the fourth one maybe, and I think I fell asleep in the movies when I was watching the third one. But it was not because I didn't like it. I was just super tired. But I really like this series. I really like the first one, and maybe it's not as strong the other ones, but the first one I think is really really good. I really don't remember the sequels a whole lot, but I want to keep an eye on this. Like, they're just talking in this, like, monkeys. Society has been crumbled by this point, and the monkeys have evolved to a point where they're talking and have their own societies and stuff, and the humans are on the outskirts and the run, and we really see the fall of the human society in the Planet Ape movie, and it's really cool. And so I really want to check this out. I'll probably go revisit the sequels before I watch this one, because I really don't remember them a whole lot except the first one. I had that one on DVD when I was younger, and I really liked that movie. Some Star Wars news. So Guillermo del Toro, maker of both Hellboy's movies, or director of those two Hellboy movies, and some really good other stuff. He had a really good Pinocchio movie a lot of people liked. I wasn't really interested, so I didn't check it out. But he described his canceled Jabba the Hutt film as Scarface in Star Wars. Brother, and this is, I think I talked about this a couple weeks ago. Why would Disney pass up on this, bro? I just really do not get it at all. And it's just so baffling. Disney just wants, or Star Wars, Disney, whatever. They just want to do the same stuff with the Skywalker saga and just the Skywalkers. Oh my God, Han Solo, Princess Leia, Obi-Wan. Oh my goodness, like, bring back Ahsoka, bring back Luke. And I enjoy some of it for sure, but it's just like, bro, can we get some new stuff? Like, please, can we? Obviously, Jabba is a returning character, but can we get some tonally new stuff? Some stuff that feels different. Please innovate or something. Like Andor, like come on, like I don't have to say like Andor is amazing because it feels tonally different from a lot of Star Wars. And I'm not saying there's not shine in how Star Wars usually feels, but come on, bro. We just need some new. On to delays, some TV show delays. The prequel It series Welcome to Derry is delayed to till 2025, and I think it was supposed to come out 2024. I liked the first two It movies. The first one I really liked a lot. The second one it was okay, and so I was really excited to see where this show was heading. Like, is it gonna show where Pennywise comes from? And I kind of did in the second movie, but did Pennywise like land in Derry and just stayed there, or did he land somewhere else in the world and like he just settled on Derry, or what was that? What's the deal with that? And just more origin on Pennywise and stuff. So I'm really interested to see that because I think he's a very interesting like monster, and like he's like interdimensional and some shit, or his big villain's a giant fucking space flying turtle or something. I don't know, but he's interesting. So I'm not disappointed, but this was new to me because I was looking forward to this. And then also still with delays, the Penguin show gets delayed till. So this is in the Matt Reeves universe, the Batman universe that came out with Robert Pattinson. This has been delayed to fall 2024 due to studios refusing to pay their actors fairly. So as long as the actor strike's going on, they can't really like work on this stuff. I don't think it was done filming or anything, so they still need to shoot stuff. And so as the strikes keep going on, their stuff's gonna keep getting pushed back. And so this was one of those. And I'm really looking forward to this. But hey, if it's for the strikes, I really could care less that it got delayed. But I really like what they're doing. I'll speak on this in a second because the next piece of news is there is a rumored Scarecrow show set in the Reeves Batman universe. So just like the Penguin show, how it's giving more further context and building up the Penguin as a villain. And Matt Reeves has talked about this in the past. He wants to do more villain show spinoffs to build up Batman's rogues gallery, which I think is a phenomenal idea. Just get a Scarecrow show and really like build him up in the universe, and then maybe you can go like, I don't know, Mr. Freeze, or you can go Bane, or you can really go anywhere. And I just really like seeing, especially in this day and age when superhero stuff becomes so familiar and popular, we just need to start getting into we just really need to see new perspectives with this and just different angles of the superhero genre, and just kind of like deconstruct it. And I said last week I was reading a Robert Kirkman article on Invincible, and just kind of like how they're doing just different approaches to this genre. And so building up Batman's villains and just villain-centric, well-made shows is just really exciting to see, especially with Batman's rogues gallery, because he has a really good rogues gallery. Like, there's a lot of nuance to his characters. You can really flesh them out and go really dive into their psyches and why the way that they are. And a good point in the Penguin trailer, he's saying like he has to do what he does. He has to do what he has to do, and it's interesting to see why that is from his perspective. Because obviously you don't gotta fucking kill and murder people, but why he thinks that from his perspective. And on some more DC news, Anya Charlotta, I think it's Anya Charlotta, is rumored to play Cersei in the DCU's Creature Commandos coming 2024. So she played in, she might be in other things, but I saw her in, the first thing I saw her in, or that really like caught my interest was the Witcher show. So she's one of like the Henry Cavill and her, I think, are one of the strongest part of that show. She's a really good actress in that. And so this is interesting. And because Creature Commandos is an animated show, the Creature Commandos voice actors will be also appearing in live action in some of the DCU stuff. So they'll be, in live action and in animation. So that's cool. And she's a really good actress. So I'm really excited for her to join the DC universe. And it's really, and this is a rumor, by the way. This was like, I guess on one of her like resumes, or I don't know, a site like LinkedIn or something. Not LinkedIn, but like something like that. It showed up like this was one of her roles or something. So this is a rumor still. But if she's in it, I'm really excited. There's also already a couple good names attached to Creature Commandos. I think David Harbour's playing someone. The guy who played Crossbones in Captain America Civil War, the guy who like blew himself up at the beginning, he's in it. It seems like, I want to say Frank Grillo, but I think that's the character's name in Civil War. But I think his name might be Frank Grillo. But he's a really good actor too. I really like him as well. Yeah. Oh yeah. So Frank Grillo. Yeah. So he's playing someone in I forget what character he's playing. I think Rick Flag Sr. I think he might be playing Rick Flag Sr. in Creature Commandos, so that's cool. And then also James Gunn says the voice acting is all the way done for Creature Commandos. I don't know if that falls in the same if it's the same the voice actor union, or like, is the same as the actors union. So I don't know if they're on strike, and that's probably why it finished up. But on the gaming side of things, before we move into Gen V, just two bits of pieces of news before we go into that. Ghost of Tsushima script is done, and so this comes from so this is being made. So Ghost of Tsushima is a PlayStation exclusive game. It's about, so they're Japan's being invaded by Mongols, and basically all the samurai get like slaughtered because they're about honor, and so they face them head on and they just get decimated. And Jin Sakai, he's one of the only surviving samurai, so now he just is battling the Mongol invasion. And it's a really phenomenal game. The visuals, the gameplay, amazing. I love that game so much. I still got to go back and play the DLC, but I really love. Oh, I might do that for my second channel and just go and finish that. But yeah, I really love that game. Just the combat, I love the combat. Just you can do like standoffs and like just call someone out, and just, they're like bucking at you and you're waiting to strike, and as soon as they strike, you have to strike, and it's really fun. And it's basically a samurai simulator. But he struggles, Jin Sakai in the story, he struggles with using assassin stealth tactics, like poisoning them and stealth kills, because the samurai are all about honor. They're gonna face their target head up, no faking, no running, no sneaking around, no stabbing in the neck, no stabbing in the back, nothing. They're calling you out and they're facing you head up, and that's how he was taught. But to win this war, to save his people, he has to be something else. He has to turn into the Ghost of Tsushima. Damn, that was a kind of fire setup, I'm not gonna lie. But so they're making a movie on this, and Chad Stahelski, he made the John Wick movie, or the director of all 4 John Wick movies. He's behind this, so that's why the story of Ghost itself is already pretty good. But then him getting attached to this, and just what the visuals he brung to, it's probably not all him, but just the visuals in John Wick, and just the action is just phenomenal, because he's a director, and he's like a stunt coordinator or stunt man, and so he really knows how to make action really good. And so him being attached to this is lovely. But they just got their the script done for it. I kind of ran on a whole rant about Ghost of Tsushima, but they just got their script done for it, and he says they're very close to getting our shit together on that. And so we could be seeing some more news about that in the up and coming times. But he also says in the article, who's this article from? Let me see real quick. Sorry. I should be quoting my articles more. This is from Screen Rant. He also says that, with the actor strike and stuff going on, they can't really move forward. And with the writer's strike just ending probably like a week or two ago, probably like 2 weeks ago, they were just, able to make progress on the script and get it done. So why is I'm on Twitter looking at this, but Bulma from Dragon Ball Z is trending for some reason. But so yeah, I'm really excited about that. So you'll be hearing more news from me on that, because I'm keeping up with that as well. And so I'll be talking about it here, I don't know if they really have anyone attached, like actors wise, but I mean, the guy who voice acts Jin Sakai literally looks just like him in the game. Like mocap and stuff. And he was a really good voice actor. I'm not sure he is as an actor, 'cause it's a little bit different, but I really liked his performance in the game. So if they need him, their leading role, he's right there. So the last bit of gaming news before I get into the main topic, Gen V, is so Spider-Man 1, so Spider-Man 2 PS5 came out like 2 weeks ago. The Nelson and Murdoch, Daredevil's law firm, the sign was missing. But not like missing, like someone took it. It was just like blank. Like someone forgot to add it. And in the first Spider-Man game, it was there. And then the second Spider-Man game, not the second installment, which is Miles Morales, they were getting evicted. They had like eviction notice on their thing. And then in this game, like it was completely blank, like someone forgot to add it. But so the sign is back in the game in Spider-Man 2. So it's like, I think, and so people were like speculating, oh, is this like, hinting at DLC and whatnot, and we've gotten some, I think, the hand teases as well, and that's like the villains kind of like Daredevil fights. Hey, and speaking of that, the hand, the Foot Clan, when I was talking about Shredder and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, is a play on the hand from the Marvel comics. And I'm pretty sure the Ninja Turtles are also influenced by Daredevil as well. So that's a cool little fun fact. But so yeah, it was just added in the game. So I don't really think it is really leading to DLC. The hand stuff maybe, but I just feel like it was an error and they just added it in. But it kind of feels like weird because they got the eviction notice and then it was just back without it. So did they get their rent together or what? But yeah, so that's really it on the news side of things. And so the main topic for today is Gen V. Gen V is a spinoff from The Boys. The Boys is an Amazon Prime show, and it's basically what if superheroes were just dickheads? What if they're all dickheads, man? What if they're just run by capitalism and whatnot? And it's a really good show. It's super violent, so if you're adverse to, you don't really like violence and gore and stuff, probably not the show for you. But it's a really good take on the superhero genre, and it's really satire, like the critique a lot of real world things. Like both sides, they make fun of woke stuff. They make fun of like far far right stuff, like Trump people and that type of. So they make parody on that type of stuff. It's a really good show. I like it a lot. Season 4 kind of chases tail a little bit, but I still liked all the performances and stuff in it. Gen V is a spinoff from that, and basically it takes place right after season 4 of The Boys, and it just leads right in. So it takes place in Godolphin College. It's a college for the soups, right? Initially, the trailer, I thought this was gonna be like, some melodramatic like drama, like just with powers and set in the boys verse, just super gory and just seeing dumb college stuff just with superpowers. That's what I thought it was gonna be. That's what the trailer kind of made it out to be. But it's actually a lot deeper than that. And there's a bigger overarching story. But even like character wise, it's a lot more. What am I trying to say? It's a lot more. The Boys is very character driven, so I don't know why I thought it was gonna be anything. It's gonna be less than that, but it's a lot more character focused than I thought, which I really, really enjoyed. So I got a couple prompts right here because this is kind of like my first time. Usually when I review stuff on my main channel, that's how I started my YouTube channel. I would write a script. So it's kind of a little different than just talking off the cuff about it. And I just kind of want to really incorporate everything and really, really get my point across on the show because I really liked it a lot. So the story, I didn't say this. It will be non-spoilers for a little bit. This is the first season. I know it's a spinoff of The Boys, but it'll be non-spoilers first, and then I'll get into some spoilers. But I'll just talk about the story and non-spoiler. I'll let you guys know when it's spoiler time, and there'll be time codes when I get into spoilers as well. So the story, I really liked the story, and and that's because the characters I think were really good. I just didn't really like how the story. I think it just needed some more time to cook. It just needed a little bit more time to cook, and some of the plot points would have been more believable. I get them. They are very. They make sense in the way they happen and the way characters like turn and stuff. But it just some characters would have benefited from maybe like a 1 or 2 episodes, not specifically about them. Just give them more time to reach the level that they eventually reach by the end of the series. But I think for the most part, it was really, really engaging week to week. It had me like, really locked in. And I haven't felt that way about shows like week to week in a while. And it was really good feeling. And let me say superhero shows, because there are other good shows and good media out there. Just from what I consume mostly is like superhero stuff and whatnot. Not again, but that's not the only thing I consume. But yeah, you get my point. So it just really had me locked in, really hooked, and I really liked the way it was. Besides like the ending. The ending's not bad, but it just needed a bit more time to cook. But I like the way the story developed and how the stakes were gradually raised and how deep the characters like found themselves like in this conspiracy. It was really good. I really enjoyed the story. So the characters are really what, of course, they are what make the story, but they're really, I wasn't expecting to like them as much. They have I had some kind of time to little reflect on this, but I'm not 100% sure on the idea because I haven't rewatched The Boys in a minute. But I feel like, okay, here's the point. I'm gonna say the point and I'm gonna expand on it. The characters in Gen V just feel like they have a lot more nuance and a lot more gray area than the ones in The Boys. Because in The Boys, the main thing is the soups are bad. We got to stop the soups. That is pretty straightforward. That is pretty black and white, because the way that the most soups are portrayed in that show, yeah, they need to be knocked off immediately. They're sexual deviants. They're a nuisance to the community, really. And it's all for like capitalistic game and whatnot. It's really black and white. Like it's no really ifs, ands, or buts. Like some good soups may come and they usually pick the right side and whatnot, but it's just really black and white. But with Gen V, there's just a lot of nuanced topics and a lot of gray area topics and a lot of really gray area and morality and stuff, and I really enjoyed that. And just some of I'm gonna pull up let me pull up the cast, because I really loved all the performances and every from really pretty much everyone, to be honest. I'll go through them, but a character that I really ended up liking a lot was Emma, played by Lizzie Broadway. And I think I said this in my first impressions as well, but she just really brought a lot to the story. Just her storyline, and just the actresses, the way she portrayed it, in her. And she was like kind of the comedic relief, but she wasn't too overbearing. Like she's the one that's saying like what you're thinking, like what, like this is kind of like, this is weird, bro. Like, and so I really liked her performance. I really liked the energy she brought to the story, and I'm very glad where her character ends up. Not glad, but I'll get into it in spoilers. But and then you have Kate. I really liked her character as well. She started off as a really strong character, and the way that they developed her in the earlier parts of the series was really good, and it was really convincing. And I really like her power set as well. She like touch people's, and she can make you do whatever she says, and it's a really cool power. And just her relationships with like Golden Boy and Andre throughout the story. She brought a lot of nuance to the character as well. Like each character brings their own like bit of nuance to the story, and I really like that as well. Because you with the boys, I'm sorry, I'm like keep comparing them, but I mean like they're in the same verse. And when I'm comparing them, these are two very good shows. So it's not like one is way over the other, or anything like that. But Emma's powers. So she can shrink herself by throwing up, and so it's kind of like she has like this eating disorder, like nuanced problem, and if she has one, or if not, and her mom's like some stuff with her mom as well. And so I really like what she goes through. And then Kate, just her relationship with like Golden Boy and Andre and stuff, and just her dilemma is really good. And then Marie Monroe, played by Jazz Sinclair, she's like the main character in it. I really liked her a lot. I feel like the way they wrote her character, and the way that Jazz Sinclair really portrayed her, just like her facial expressions and her just like nuanced movements and stuff, was really well. And she just had like a lot of gray area moments where she did something, and it was like, okay, she recognized that wasn't the right thing, but maybe she didn't fix it right away, and then she fixed it later, and it just felt very real. And a lot of the actions from the characters, besides like the last episode where it really rushes, where it feels like it rushes a lot of things, or a couple of things, she just felt like very developed, and I really liked her development as the story went on, and what her priorities, how they shifted, and how she really stepped into her own and stuff. I really like that as well, and Jazz Sinclair really knocked it out of the park with that. She did phenomenal. I'm glad to yeah, she just did really good. And so then you get Patrick Schwarzenegger as Luke. Schwarzenegger? Hold on. No way. Patrick Schwarzenegger. Is this? No way. Oh shit, this is Arnold's son. What? I did not know that. Whoa, that's pretty cool. I did not know that. He was really good in this movie. I liked him a lot, or not movie. In this show, I liked him a lot. His character, I really think I really wish we got to see a little bit more of. But he was the where he's in the story and how he plays a part into it in the later parts I think is really cool as well. I just really liked his performance. I love everyone's performance in this show. And then you have Derek Liu as Jordan Le. Derek Le, I'm hoping I'm saying that right. It's Luh, Le, as Jordan Lee, and they played transgender character. Their power set, they just would be able to switch from boy to girl, and they weren't defined by like, oh, a boy or a girl. They just switch whenever they wanted. I really like their characters well. Again, a lot of nuance, a lot of development of their morality and what they believe is right, and what they stand for, and they did really good as well. And I just like how Jordan, that's the character's name, relationship developed with the other characters as well. You have Asa Gurman as Sam, and he, I think, really did a phenomenal performance. He like plays a character that's a little more shaky in the mind, and he really portrays that, or makes that really come across as really convincing, and his back and forth with himself, and just the inner demons he's struggling with. He really just sells that really well, and I really like how his relationships developed with everyone. Really everyone. Andre, played by Chance Pedromo. He was really good in this as well. I feel like he kind of didn't really have a whole lot. I liked his performance, but the character, I feel like just did like a lot of just just running around and screaming. Like I don't know. He sold it, but it was just this character is a little bit more. I wish we got a little bit more. In the later, a little bit more from this character. We see him a lot, but I just he does go through like some development in the story and stuff, and it's fine. I'm a go to spoilers in a bit. I really like the action. The action was really good. The power's really cool. Marie Monroe, the main character, she has like this blood power, and she can like control blood and stuff. And it's they do some cool things with it. Andre has like telekinesis, or maybe I think he could just manipulate metal. Yeah, but that was cool. Like I explained, Kate and Emma's powers are cool. Golden Boy, he can like turn himself on fire like the Human Torch. That's cool. And then Jordan could go from like boy and girl, and then she had like this force power. It wasn't really entirely sure what that was. They didn't really like go into explain that too much. But the action was really good. A lot of gore, like the boys, like people getting holes punched through their face and guts, and people exploding heads, and that is all in here. And just my likes and dislikes, I would say I really like the performances. I really like the I like the look of the boys. It's really has a really good color grading, has really a distinct style, and I enjoyed that a lot. The performances were great. I think I just said that. The story for the most part, I liked how it developed. It was felt a little rushed, but I guess that's my dislike. I liked how it developed until the end, and then it felt a little rushed. But it felt rushed, but I understood where the characters were. I understood the decisions. Understood their decisions. It just needed more time to cook to really like convince that. But I understood it. So I'll just jump into spoilers. But yeah. Overall, really good show. But yeah, time for spoilers. Or should I rate it? Should I rate it? I would rate this probably like an 8. Yeah, definitely an 8. If it really should have stuck the landing, it really would have been up there with like a 9, 9.5. But it's definitely a solid 8, 8.5. Definitely, definitely. So yeah, on to spoilers. So bro, I kind of like went through it. But I just really like how the way this. I'll talk about my negatives real quick. Just Kate's turn to the full on soup. Just rhetoric like humans are bad, soups are the superior race. It just needed more time to cook, bro. Because I get it. Like is she's self radicalized. Like she turns on everyone because she's tired of being controlled by Shetty. She's tired of just humans like just being afraid of her and whatnot because of her powers. She sent her brother away. So when she touches people, like she can make them do what she says. And before her powers kicked in, before she knew she had powers, her parents knew she was gonna get powers because in the boys' universe, all the soups are genetically made and injected with compound V at birth to give them powers. And so, but anyways, she was on a camping trip with her family, and she touched her brother and just on some like sibling shit, just go away and never come back type shit. But her powers made him actually listen to that. So he walked in the woods in the middle of the night and just never came back. They did a whole search party for him and everything, and just never found him. And so, since then, like her mom wouldn't touch her, and people were afraid of her. And so she got controlled by Shetty to basically wipe her boyfriend Luke's Golden Boy's mind because his brother was trapped in the woods. So the whole college of the whole college of Godolkin where Gen V takes place is all used. It's to study them. And I don't know if specifically it was to study for weaknesses because this was all put on by Vought as well. So, but it's to study their powers, their just how they work and everything, and to like get fresh test subject for because they have like I don't know if they're all mentally unstable because Sam was, but I don't know if that was everyone. But just they would take them from the school and just experiment on them and whatnot. And so she was basically with her strong power set, Kate, be able to wipe people's mind and forget this moment or whatever. Tell people that she was used by I think she was the dean, Shetty, to just wipe her friend's mind, a lot of people's mind. She just was like, humans are evil after that. But like there just needed to be some more time to cook for her to really make that turn, because what she was doing was fucked up. And then you also get like the whole campus kind of has like this soups, or because there is this plot point where this, I forgot who came, like Congress or something, and like the kids were just doing this like chant like soups or fuck, I forgot what the chant was. It was like super better than humans or super something. But like the college had like a very soups are better than humans mindset. And so I see where that is coming from. I see that where that's from her and how that can develop, but they just needed more time to portray that. It felt like the last episode, people were just conveniently where they needed to be at all times, and you just really felt that it was just super convenient, and it just really developed way too fast. And Sam's turn to just be all soups, all only soups only. It felt really very real because he was literally locked up and tortured and experimented on, and they made his brother kill himself like just from all the pressure and everything. His turn makes sense, and just like how he's just so against soups and everything, but the ending was so crazy. So the ending, the information, they free Kate and Sam, free all the students that are locked up under the school, and they're mentally unstable. They're just going on a rampage, killing people and not killing everyone. They're specifically targeting the humans on campus. So it's like, oh, this is where Kate's like radicalization comes in, like questionable, because she never felt like the character to just want to kill just random people. Like at one point, this guy like that's from like he's from under the school, which is called the Woods. He goes up to a person. He's like, "Oh, are you a soup or are you a human?" She's like, "Oh, I'm just a human. I'm a teacher here, like an accountant." And so then he just like fries her face. And this would have made more sense if it was like, because this is not really known, are all the teachers in on this, or is it only a couple, or what's the deal? Like if all the teachers were kind of like in on this, and they were or maybe they did like say this, but I could have not been paying attention. But if they were all like in on the Woods and keeping the secret, then it would have made sense of her like, really like thinking, damn, all humans are bad, like they're just smiling in our face and everything. But it was like, damn, it just seemed like this was an innocent ass lady. She just got her face torched. So Jordan and Marie, the main character, they end up like hooking up and becoming like, I don't know if they're like officially dating or whatever, but they have really strong feelings for each other. And Kate is about to touch Jordan and make them do something, like maybe kill themselves or fight for them. And she Marie blows up Kate's arm with like, pops her arm off with the blood and shit before Kate could touch Jordan. And so then Homelander, when she does this, Homelander comes down, and it's like, damn, okay, Homelander's here. He's about to like, save everyone. Like he's about to we know who Homelander is, but he's about to take the situation under control. But then it's just a turn where he turns to Marie and just like, what kind of monster attacks their own kind? And it was like, wait, what? And then he lasers her, and it just cuts to white. And you just see on the news channel, Sam and Kate are held as heroes, and they're gonna be in. I think they're gonna be in the 7. And so the people who let the Woods need to be let free, but they just went on a rampage killing everyone, so that's not right. And so the people who started all that shit, just killing innocents and everything, Homelander spent the story, and he's done this in the past with the plane. He spent the story to make it seem like they were the heroes, and then Jordan, Marie, Emma, and who's the fourth person? Jordan, Marie, Emma. There's a fourth person, I think. Andre, yeah. Jenna, Marie, Emma, Marie, Andre, and Jordan. They're sent to like this prison, and they're like blamed for what happened on Godolkin and all the rampage and shit. And it's just so crazy. And it's just like, and then at the post-credit scenes, you get Butcher. He's walking in and he sees like the facility where the Woods was, and like it's all like empty and shit. And like he says like, "You cunts" or something. Since you got the 4 actual heroes being painted as villains, is Butcher about to break them out and get some extra guns? I mean, they really don't need it, to be honest, because they do got like that temporary shit, but it's really making their brains mush. So maybe they need some real other soups to really help them. And Marie's has like one of the strongest powers in the boys universe. There's another character with a similar power. There's a plot point where she's like, "Oh, I didn't know you had the same powers," and da da da. And so she reveals herself to Marie because she's a hidden soup in the government or not and whatnot. And she was the main plot point in season 2 of The Boys. And so she basically tells Marie like, "Yeah, you have one of the best powers ever," because she can make anyone's head explode. She can make, I don't know about anyone, but she can like stop your heart. She can literally tell what you've been eating. She could tell your history. She could tell your bloodline. Like she can tell like a lot from your blood, and she can like fight blindly because she can sense where the blood is in your body. It's like she's really overpowered. So maybe they need her to really try to take down Homelander with them. So I really see them joining the boys universe. And so season 2 of Gen V has been confirmed already. And then so basically how it's gonna work is season 5 of the boys is gonna literally pick up a few days after Gen V. After season 5 of the boys, it's gonna pass a baton back to Gen V season 2. And so they have a really it seems like a very interconnected storyline, because also, damn, I didn't even mention Gen V really introduces some big plot points that will play a big factor in season 4 of the boys, or season 5 of the boys. Like, there's a whole virus that can kill all soups, or kill a soup without really any effort, and they're trying to make it airborne and very contagious and stuff. And that's introduced in Gen V, so that's gonna play a very big plot point in season 5 of the boys. And if you know, this is spoilers for the boys comic, and this is not spoilers for the show, because the boys comic is drastically different from the show. The boys comic is held as super edgy, and edgy for no reason, and the boys show is held a lot of people like it over the boys easily, or the comic easily. So in the comic, spoilers for the comics, Butcher ends up killing, I think, everyone on the boys team besides Huey, maybe. And I forget why, but he ends up killing them all. And I think it's because they're gonna maybe try to stop him from what he's doing. I'm not sure. But if they want to go that route and have a point of contingence, I think that's the right word, with the team, and really if that's where they want to end of the show, they can, with the virus being introduced, with Huey and Frenchie having super powered girlfriends, and maybe he's a little bit, morally, probably from perspective, doesn't want to do it for his reasoning. I mean, and so Butcher could maybe want to use the virus, and they could not want to use it, and so he's gonna have to go against the boys team and whatnot, and that could either lead to him having to kill him, or them kill Butcher, or whatever. So they're really intertwined in their storylines, and I should have mentioned this in non-spoilers, but the boys started off as a really good critique of the superhero genre, of everything so connected, and just really just deconstructing it and really making fun of it. And people are saying that since Gen V and the boys are so connected, are they just spitting in their own faces or going against their own point? And I don't think so. I mean, I feel like it's still a good satire on the genre, but I mean, damn, is this the capitalistic thing of it? They did this spinoff because they're gonna make more money, but it tells a good story though. So it's just okay, you could see that it's clearly a money thing, but if they have a good story to tell, why not? So I don't really mind it being connected. So so that doesn't really bother me too much. But there is something to be said about that. But yeah, that's pretty much it on the boys, or the Gen V. I really liked it a lot. Excited for season 2, and excited where it takes the boys universe, and it was really good. I really liked all the characters and everything in it. I forgot this last week, bro, and I was so disappointed with myself, because we had a great show last week, and I completely forgot to do my weekly watch list, bro. And I actually watched stuff that week. So I'll just be going over. I barely watched stuff this week, so I'll just be going over really quick last week's stuff, and then so I was watching The Fall of the House of Usher, and I was talking about spooky stuff last week. This would have been a nice addition, but basically it's a show, and this guy, all his kids, his whole family's dying. He's a super rich, wealthy guy, and he's telling this story on why it's happening and how it's happening, and is it paranormal, or is it what's going on? And it's a really good show. It's really well made, really well shot, really good performances. It's on Netflix, and it's only 8 episodes. I highly suggest it. It's called The Fall of the House of Usher. The way it ends, I think, is really good. Not I was blown away or anything, but I really liked how it wrapped up and stuff, and it felt like a nice, not fun, but it was a nice story to digest. And I really recommend that. That's on Netflix. And on the music side of things, Baby Tron dropped an album called Beyond Turn 2, and I definitely need to go through this 1 or 2 more times, but I really like it. The thing with Baby Tron, what I like a lot, he takes risk in his sound. Not super big risk, in the way it sounds, because he still sounds similar, but the things he does. And he has this song called Stutter Flow, where he's stuttering the whole song, and then the way he pulls it off, bro, is phenomenal. And just his beat selection is amazing. His wordplay is amazing. And let me pull it up, because let me pull up the tracks that I really, really liked. It's called Megatron 2. Oh wait, Oh no, oh yeah, it's called Megatron 2. My fault. The first song's Beyond Turn 2. Megatron 2 by Babytron. So this it's 28 songs, and Certified, bro, is such a good song. And what I was saying, like he takes risks, like he's doing like this, he's like doing these these Beavis and Butthead like ad libs and sounds, like he's like like it's just like he's taking risks in his sound. It's really creative and it's just new to, not new, but it's different from like, you know, the standard rap stuff. So Certified was really good. Beyond Turn was really good. Really, Stutter Flow super good. I just need to really go through it so I can pick out the ones I really like. 241 with Babyface E, super good. Oh, What's Funny, Haha's really good. Whoo, Ring of Death is super good. So he has Thumb War. Oh, he has like a Thumb War. He's like 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare Thumb War. He does something cool with that. And then he has a Yo Mama song with Stan Will. Talk literally just them fucking doing Yo Mama jokes the whole time. Like he just makes rap fun. I need to go through it again, but there's some definitely good tracks. If you like rap and you like Detroit rap, but if you just like rap in general, go check out Tron for sure. And then last week on some fucking been a nice addition to talk about. I watched Vampire Hunter D. Some of it. I didn't finish it. I've been talking about this for a couple weeks, and I wanted to watch it, and it was so good. It's super stylized. That '90s anime vibe. It's really good. There was this part where like a vampire was just walking through the streets of like the gothic streets, and he was making all the candles go out. He was, as he walked past a fountain of like water, he froze the water. He was making flowers wilt and die. It's just very super stylized, and it's super fun. And then also what I want to watch is the show Pluto, this anime Pluto on Netflix. It's Astro Boy or Mega. I think it's Astro Boy, and it's like, I'm not if it's like the origin or something, but I heard it's super good, and I'm been trying to find some new anime to watch, so that's something I want to check out. And then also even this week, but I guess I'll kind of talk about them both. But last week's Loki episode was super good, and then this week's episode was even better. This week's episode had like one of my favorite shots in the MCU, just that sequence. It was really good. I'll be talking about Loki when it wraps up. I think it wraps up next week. Next week will be Loki and the Marvels. Because I think Loki wraps up and the Marvels comes out. So that will be the main topic of next week. But I'm really enjoying Loki. Last week, the director said the last 2 episodes are the best in the series, so buckle up. So that he was talking about this episode this week, the one that's coming up. So I'm really excited about that. And then this week, I watched Invincible. Invincible Season 2, Episode 1 just came out. Invincible Season 1 is amazing. Has its flaws for sure, but just the overarching story is, I'm just so freaking locked in, bro. Like, I'm locked in. I don't care how long this show takes to come out. And there's been, people been kind of upset about that, but hey, bro, I'm in it for the long haul, brother. Like, I really want to see where the show ends. The comic's out. It's been out for like 20 years, and it's wrapped up, but I just really want to experience the show because that's the version I really like a lot, and just the way that they're handling it. And I guess one thing that is kind of disappointing, though, is that this season is in 2 parts. I don't know why they keep doing this, bro. Like, there's only going to be like 4 or 5 episodes in this part, and then the last part is going to come out sometime in 2024. So it's like, bro, I'm fine with waiting, bro. Just if they're all just can come out. Like, I don't like this mid-season break stuff. Like, Attack on Titan's been dicking around. It literally just ended like yesterday, and the season 4 has been going on for like 2-3 years, bro. Come on, brother. Like, I get it. Like, as animation, you need time to cook and whatnot. But again, I'm in it for the long haul, so no matter how long this takes, I'm in it. But it's disappointing to hear about that break. And then also last night while I was writing the show notes for this show, I was watching Paul Blart Mall Cop, and I haven't seen that movie in a while. And that movie is so really funny to me. It's with Kevin James. All the Twitter memes that you probably seen him, just like random ass picture. If you don't know who Kevin James is, he's like in Grown Ups and stuff. He's like the bigger white guy. He's a really good actor. He's a really good physical comedy really well, like falling out of windows and falling down and stuff, and stuff like that. He really does that really well, and there's a lot of that in Paul Blart Mall Cop. And that movie came out in 2009. That movie's so 2009. Like, you got people still doing parkour. At one point, a guy's riding on a skateboard shooting at Paul Blart, and he's riding a fucking one of those Segway things. Not Segway, but those little like scooter things mall cops like drive and stuff. I'm forgetting what they're called, but it's that movie's really funny if you haven't seen it. To close out the show on Pondering My Orb, get us ready for the new week and reflecting on the past week and what I need to improve, and hopefully me talking about that kind of inspires you. And that's why I like to add in this segment, just to add a little bit of substance in all this, all the fun talk and stuff. But my goal this week is just to practice determination and just keep moving forward, man. Just, you got a lot on your plate, just gotta knock it out and just not give up and just keep going forward. And some days will be very hard, some days will be tougher than others. This is not the right comparison, but I just kind of get inspired for Attack on Titan when Aaron just like, he's just talking about like, you just gotta fight, just fight, keep fighting. And obviously this man is fighting to commit fucking genocide. So, but just I'm not saying to strive for that, but just the determination just Aaron has throughout Attack on Titan is just very, very inspiring. Not specifically for his cause, but just, what he does, like, you just by any means. But that's pretty much it for this week. Like I said, next week will be not Gen V, will be the Marvels and Loki series talk. Yeah, so I'm really excited about how Loki's gonna wrap up, and then I'm really excited to see if the Marvels is gonna be any good or what. But that's pretty much it for this week. I'll catch you guys on the next. Oh wait, hold on. Let me do my proper outro. Follow my main YouTube channel at DS2Smooth, and then follow my second YouTube channel at DS2Smooth Extended for my gameplay sessions, or no, my game playthroughs. I finished it, but I'm putting together the videos for Spider-Man 2. So that'll be on the second channel, DS2Smooth Extended. So go check that out if you want to see me play Spider-Man. And I'll be doing, because I just finished the game, I'll be doing a 1 to 2 part video on my main channel with all the edits and stuff, because I like to edit my videos, put memes in them or whatever. But I'll be condensing the whole story and put a 1 to 2 part video on my main channel, so you can check that out too. And then I'll be doing more playthroughs and stuff on my second channel. I think I'm finished Cyberpunk and do the DLC and stuff, Cyberpunk 2077. And then follow my social medias, all at DS2Smooth, and then follow my YouTube versions of my social medias at DS2SmoothYT. On Twitter and Instagram and TikTok, and was that all of them? Twitter, Instagram, TikTok? I think that's it. And then check out my podcast. This is the podcast, stupid. So I just been when I was doing my gameplay videos, I was I had to say the intro, and check out my podcast was one of them. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this week. I will catch you guys next week.